saying no to what we don't want. Why is it so hard to take care of ourselves when we get what we don't want? An experience, a conversation, or a situation that we didn't ask for, invite, or desire in any way. In order to be fully empowered to take care of ourselves, we need to learn to know what we want, know what we don't want, and ask for it clearly and kindly without attachment to the outcome. While each of us are working on the multiple aspects of living in this empowered way, the hardest aspect for many of us is saying no to what we don't want. Many of us learn that when we say no to what we don't want, it's like saying no to what we do want at the same time. It gets merged in our minds. For example, if I say no to a meal my mother serves me, it's like I'm also saying no to her love, which is not what I want to do. This puts me in a difficult position in honoring what feels best to me if I can't separate the two from each other. If my mother or I believe that saying no to her food is saying no to her love, I'll feel that I have no other choices available to me but to accept the food she offers even if I don't want it. I feel that I have to say yes, or it's like I'm rejecting her love. Yet, I end up rejecting my own need or desire instead. We can end up in this kind of quandary with our children. When we say no to them, they often feel we're saying no to their ability or their trustworthiness or integrity, even though we're simply protecting their physical well-being. When our children decide that we are the target of their pain or unhappiness and let us know it in no uncertain terms, we end up getting something we don't want. While they complain, blame, or shame us for their unhappiness, few of us have healthy ways to respond to their attack. In fact, we may attack back, becoming critical or controlling. We may freeze inside or simply withdraw as we did as children. Now, as adults, we need a better way. We can recognize that as children, we often had to do what others wanted us to do, whether we wanted to do it or not, even when it felt like the wrong thing for us. This had us feel out of control in trying to get our own needs met. And when our no wasn't honored, it felt as if our needs and wants were not as important as those around us. As adults, we don't have to do that anymore and can begin to stand up for ourselves and honor our own no without making others wrong. When you're getting something you don't want, here are some key steps to help you move towards what you do want. Once you recognize that you're getting something you don't want, either at the moment or after the fact, the first thing you do is to acknowledge it to yourself and get clear about what you want instead. In my example, I recognized that I was getting a meal that I didn't want and thought about what else I could eat that we had in the house or by ordering in. Then I considered how I could acknowledge what's happening for my mother, giving me her love by cooking for me, when she serves me a meal without making her wrong. By putting it together this way, I acknowledge both of our experiences and I'm also responsible to take care of myself. Using the acknowledgement formula, I would acknowledge how it is for her. Mom, I understand and appreciate how you're telling me you love me when you make me a meal. Then I'd acknowledge how it is for me. Mom, right now, I'm not eating red meat, so I won't be eating the pork chops that you made. And lastly, acknowledge what you're doing to take care of yourself and helping her understand what to expect. Mom, I'll eat the potatoes and the veggies, and if I'm hungry later, I'll make myself some eggs. In the future, let's plan meals together so we can both eat what we like. When we are able to say no to what we don't want, we're taking responsibility for honoring and tending to our own needs, as well as allowing others to do the same for themselves. No one is right and no one is wrong when we say no to something another is offering. We're simply stating what works best for us, and we are doing what we can to honor our own needs. When you acknowledge what's happening with another before you state your no, you give them a chance to feel fully seen and heard first. This lowers the chances that they'll take your no personally and helps them hear your message more clearly. By letting them know what you're doing to take care of yourself, you're allowing them to be just the way they are, and you're not asking them to change or be different to make you feel better. What are you willing to say no to today?